want in here and everywhere else I go. You know, because that's how beta I am. Anyway. But I'm a radio host first.
Why that sounds
And
like
there's
that?
no better radio.
What?
There's nothing space
There's
here.
no better thing for me
Oh my goodness.
than Baker Mayfield goes to the Steelers and he has a resurgence of the career there. Oh my God, look how wrong I was. Oh,
I'm gonna hold
easiest
this
shows I'll
one
ever
with
do in my
Can you
life.
please hold it?
You realize if Baker Mayfield becomes a Pittsburgh Steeler at quarterback, oh my God, dude, come football season, I never have to read another damn thing other than stat lines. That's
I
it.
need a silk kilt.
Stansbury eats crow for months on end? Oh my God, dude, are you kidding me? Give me that story as the radio host. I'll take that more than anything else. Are you kidding me? That's easy. That is ABC easy right now. I'll take it all day.
Okay.
Now, the football fan in me,
Where's
the football fan in me is like, no. If he's going to play great, let's let it be Tampa.
What are you looking for?
Let's let it be the NFC. I
What
don't
are you
want
looking
the
for?
Browns to have to overcome Baker
push it like
Mayfield.
this?
The seat.
Joe Burrow
It's on the side of the seat.
and
It's a
Lamar
push button.
Jackson, because he's still hanging out there. You know that quarterback that everybody tells you is no good? Yeah, that one. That one. He's still
I
up.
don't know. There's
I'm
another
happy for
one down
Baker
below
Mayfield,
that.
man. I feel like Tampa's a good
Here?
situation for him.
No, down below that.
I do. I'm
should
interested
be
to see how
two.
he bounces back, because you took away
One
the
you
thing
push
that kind of
forward.
motivates Baker to be great. Oh, you don't think I'm any good? Watch.
It's okay.
And like he has that in spades, Baker. He may have that. He may have a stronger hand at that than maybe any other NFL player. Maybe even something happen a little bit more. But Baker, man, like once you count him out, back against the wall.
What?
Oh,
See,
now
just
I
put
got
them in
that.
the side.
I have a
Oh,
reason
no.
to do a little bit of that Michael Jordan, LeBron, create a fake enemy and then make it bigger than life, so I
We can go
overcome
this
it.
side, or we can go
He's
this
pretty
side.
good at that.
It's
Put
open.
his back up against the
Just
wall,
one
dude.
lane.
He's a different guy. Once it's his, it's a little Ryan Fitzpatrick. Fitzmagic's kind of the same way. When he's proven to you he's good enough to be a starter, the games look great. Make him the starter, give him all the reins, give him everything, it doesn't look as good.
Oh my
It's just kind of
goodness.
one of those things that happen.
It's
I think
dripping.
Baker's
Oh
probably a little
no.
bit better than Ryan Fitzpatrick overall. We'll wait and see how the career's shaping. Right? We'll wait and see. But I did not mention Baker because that's
You didn't necessarily need to bring that bag.
He's a
You
Tampa
got
Bay
this.
Buccaneer, not a Pittsburgh Steeler. who
No, because they
Browns
have a
fans
Graham here.
primarily the listening base
Oh.
cares about.
Oh, I forgot about
They
that.
care about the NFC team. So I talked to little Jerry Jeudy, talked to little Russell Wilson, quarterback position there. Obviously, Steelers, big thing there, but it's not out of fear of not talking about Baker. Absolutely nothing to be further from the truth. I told
Why-
you
what is
before,
that
look how
sound?
right I am, works for 2 minutes.
Speaker
Look
wire.
how wrong I was, works for 15. I get the minutes one way or the other. It really doesn't matter. But I do
Just
get
in and out.
longer minutes on look how wrong I was. So I was sitting there all weekend like, dude, screw Russell Wilson. Let dangerous number 6 show up in black and gold now one time. Oh my God, dude, it's beat up easy peasy for the whole NFL season if that's what happens.
It's cool when you get up and you feel instantly connected to the world. The Stansberry Show. I don't know what it is. I got him on every morning. On Rock 1069.
Welcome back to the Stansbury Show. We're on Rock 1069. You can find me on your socials, The Stansbury Show. Search there on your favorite platform and find me. Looking ahead at tomorrow already. New Turk Tuesday. I got new stuff from Slash featuring Brian Johnson. Got some new of that. Some new Sebastian Bach, maybe. New Chris Jansen hanging out there, too. Local artists, hit me up via the socials, The Stansbury. Years ago, and sure enough, it's coming true now. Now, I wasn't the only one. You saw this coming to. Everybody did. This wasn't like, look how smart I am. I saw this. It's like most people saw this coming down the road. Deep fake technology. For anybody that doesn't know what a deep fake is, essentially what it is you'll see a video or a photo of somebody and you're like, that didn't happen. That's not true. And it's computer generated. AI is assisting in this. AI just went through a gigantic PR nightmare this last 2 weeks. as it has,
Want a
people
water
were like,
or
hey,
anything?
show me the historic figures
Want a water or
of this
anything?
country,
No,
and
I
of
haven't.
course it
Oh.
screwed it all up, and their systems were, exposed by who is like running the input of those things, and they got kind of caught with their hand in the cookie jar there a little bit, and so people have kind of been walking a lot of that back. But deepfake technology,
Sweetheart, you
deepfakes
are
are a
not sweet
problem.
with me anymore.
AI is going to be a problem. It's about 6 months, not even, about 3 months ago maybe, we played you that AI George Carlin stand-up set. And his family and estate is now suing the people that have made that. It's like, you're misrepresenting George here. What are you doing? This is his likeness. This is his voice. You can't do this. And I remember saying a few years ago, it's going to get harder and harder to tell what's real and what isn't. And it's going to be an interesting thing when you start talking about influencers online. Because so many of them want to be we're not the news, we're here to tell you what's really going on. And then in the same post or the same feed, they want to be able to use a deep fake and be like, what? Whoa, we're joking. It's like, well, you can't be out there telling me you're replacing the news and then create fake things to poke fun at and then tell me the news is the problem. It's like you're muddying the water too at that point. If you want to be the replacement for the media, then you're going to have to hold yourself to a standard. Well, people should know we're screwing around. They should know we're joking. Okay, but you know that they don't. And you're making things tricky out. It's only going to get worse as we go on. And that's not even what we're going to talk about right now. This is affecting children. And that's when people will care. Remember COVID? You remember that, right? Nobody gave a damn. And all of a sudden, kids started to get sick, and people went, all right, hold on. What are we doing here? That's when the mentality started to shift a little. As soon as kids get involved, man, that's when everybody pretends like, okay, this is the most important thing in the world. So some Beverly Hills students in the Unified School District have now been expelled from middle school. They were accused, I believe this was last month, of using AI to create and share fake nude images, not of celebrities, not of Jennifer Lawrence, of their own classmates. And I know what some people are thinking. Middle school. So I'll skip to the end of the article to tell you it was 8th graders. And I know what some people are thinking. How would anybody think an 8th grader is going to have a nude? Are you really under the impression that 8th graders aren't sexting nude pictures of themselves back and forth with another 8th grader? Or worse, maybe somebody older than them? Or, way worse, somebody younger than them? I think you're in denial. Is that every 8th grade student? No, it is not. It isn't. It's going to be enough. What were you getting away with in 8th grade that your parents, who thought they had just a good little student, what were you getting away with that your parents had no idea? A lot, right? Yeah, you were. Yeah, you were. Now, the flip side of that coin is true too, though. How much stuff did you think you were getting away with when your parents knew? Going to be a lot of that too. School officials started to investigate. And the Beverly Hills Police Department has now launched its own criminal investigation. That's still ongoing at this moment. And no arrests have been made and no charges have been brought yet. We'll wait and see what happens there. With kids, they could turn around and say, kids being kids, what are you going to do here? Or they could say, no, we got to set the tone here because this is the new world order of technology and look at how easy this stuff is. Dude, Photoshop, when it first came out, was incredibly hard. Most people didn't know how to, most people still don't know how to use it because it's incredibly difficult. Now all these programs, you just tell it what you want and it spits it out. You feed it a photo. I want to see this, and it spits it out. The 5 students and their victims, like I said, were in the 8th grade. And according to the school district, 16 students had been targeted. That according to the superintendent, Michael Bragg. Quote, This incident has spurred crucial discussions on the ethical use of technology, including AI, and underscoring the importance of vigilant and informed engagement within digital environments. Furthermore, we recognize that kids are still learning and growing, and making mistakes are part of this process. However, accountability is essential, and appropriate measures have been taken, meaning expulsions. Now, the school district reportedly approved those Wednesday, last week, and are, I guess, a little bit of a turning point, as some other schools decided not to go with expelling when they've seen some of this, and decided to be like, look, kids will be kids, boys will be boys, girls will be girls, which was very much the way we said about a lot of behaviors while my generation was growing. We got to be honest, right? May have been a more simplistic time, and by that I mean we didn't have the internet to tell us how terrible everything was every minute of every day, so we were lulled into the false sense of security that it was a simpler time, when in reality it probably was. This is making it less simple. I would agree with that. AI. Apparently there's been a string of incidents around the world over the past year involving AI-generated fake news of school-aged children. The number of cases has exploded for script writing. Back in the day, clients and/or the radio station, if you were a salesperson here, one of the things you had to be good at was writing the scripts. Hand it to the talent, they'll kind of put it into their words, but like write them a script so they have something to base everything off of. Now that doesn't happen anymore. Whoa, you're called the talent. You just decide what we're doing with this. You just decide everything that gets done. And in a panic to not sound too repetitive with some of those, kind of feed it into the AI program for, oh, that's a good idea. That's a good way to change. I don't let it write it, but I may take a change and go, oh, I wouldn't have thought about that. Okay, yeah, I'll use that. That's kind of one of the ways we'll use it here. There are others. Have you seen how realistic some of these AI photos are? You really want your daughter or your son running up and down the hallway of every school they're ever going to go to and have to scream in everybody's face about how that's not them and it's AI generated? By the way, man, what people do in their lives can have them, I don't know, maybe losing their scholarships or losing their playing ability on a team. But it's not really me, it's AI generated. Yeah, man, but we got cancel culture out there now, and like the people in Alabama that are pretending to care about this right now aren't going to hear me say that. They're just going to say you can't allow this, and what about the people that didn't have that happen, and blah, blah, blah. So if AI technology can make you look and sound any which way they want, you can take my voice and make it say anything you want.
That's a big one.
Then we're going to have to end canceling, right? If you don't know for sure I said it, if you don't know for sure they posted it, if you don't know for sure where it was created, then we have to stop job hunting on what people have done in public right now. Because these kids didn't do this, meaning they didn't take their clothes off to be photographed. You know, there's a whole nother end of this I haven't even brought up yet, right? Yeah. So let's do that next.
You know what that conniving trickery is called?
The Stansberry Show on Rock 106.9.
Welcome back to the Stansberry Show. Online at WRQK.com and on your socials at The Stansberry Show. Search me there, give that a following. You can also send a text to the studio at 330-450-7625, and plenty of you have, as we were talking about this story out of Beverly Hills where some students have now been expelled from school because they were creating and passing out deep fakes of some of their classmates. This was a middle school, 8th grade from what I understand. They're calling it a middle school. Am I crazy or is that junior high? Whatever. But they're referring to it as a middle school out there in California, I believe. Beverly Hills, yeah, is where this happened. Everybody in 8th grade, victims and the perpetrators there. And we were kind of talking about how this is going to be dangerous, man. I've been saying this for years, man. As more and more tech comes, and like hackers used to be like anonymous and that was it. And I don't mean like you don't know who they were. I meant the group anonymous and that was it. Now everybody can do it. And as all your money's going digital, as everything's going, dude, everybody's going to be able to get you over that digital barrel, dude, and get you to come off that bread. Like, everybody thinks I'm crazy, but, like, that's where we're headed. Laugh all you want. If you let them take cash, baby, we are screwed. Your freedom is over that day. Goodbye. Wave goodbye. Just like privacy. Remember privacy? You don't even expect it anywhere you go now. Even your home. Yeah, it'll probably end up on TikTok. Nobody even expects privacy anymore. It's going to be freedom real soon now. And things like this are going to be a problem. They already are a problem. We got 8th grade girls out here crying themselves to sleep at night over what some creeps are doing with their photos. Creating deep fake news. So because it's 8th grade and it's kids kind of coming to their own, I got a lot of this via the text line at 330-450-7625. Some of it at my Facebook page. Again, these stands for. Oh, when I was in 8th grade, we looked at Hustler and played.
It's my first time to came here.
Okay.
I mean, it's my first time to.
What about that is similar?
Here.
Yeah.
That they're nude photos? Okay. So that's somewhat similar. You didn't create them. You found them in a dumpster behind a store or your stepdad's drawer, right? So you didn't create those. This is like meth. You know what everybody said why meth is such a problem? Because those losers can make their own damn drugs. That's a problem. That's a problem. And like, look at what meth did, because losers can make their own drugs. That's what happened. And so now you can make your own things now, which is going to make this so much worse. There is absolutely nothing similar about an 8th grade boy looking at a nude photo in Playboy and creating deepfakes of his underage classmates. This isn't like so-and-so from a movie or so-and-so porn star. This is Lucy in the desk behind you. It could not be any different. Wow. Here's the other variable now. I'll mix it up with some listeners occasionally when they get a little too far out of line with some of the things they want to say. I'll write back and I'll mix it up with you. I'm not one of these new school media types who's like, oh shucks, lucky to be here, you're allowed to say whatever you want to me. It's like, nah, say what you want. But then I'm going to say what I want. But one of the things I don't do, I reserve it for people who go way overboard. Hi, John. I won't mess with your wife, although I am going to mess with his. And I won't mess with people's kids. Because you don't know the reaction that's coming. You can't know what that's going to be because of how much people care about those, I'm going to say things, but let's say people. Wait till the wrong dad has his daughter with her nudes all over the school and they're not even hers. These aren't kids, these aren't adults, they're children. And here's what I mean by that. If I hear, hey, these deep fake nudes are out, I don't even want to go see them because it's not her. Now, when Jennifer Lawrence got hacked up, as an adult, I don't want to see the deep fake because it's not actually the person. But I'm not in 8th grade. The 8th grader doesn't know that. Or meanwhile, they might know it, they don't care about it.
Yeah, stop it. Yes.
I have the photo. It's about the fact that it's titillating for me, and it's also about the fact that it's a nightmare for her. There's a chalk outline around a family on a street. And all of a sudden, man, we're going to blame that gun that day. That's what we're going to do. We're going to blame the gun. We should be blaming stuff like this. Because it's going to be part of the problem. For sure it is. Things are an issue whether you think they are or not. As a matter of fact, when you deny issues, that's when things get as bad as they can be. Somebody else will figure it out. How can you live as long as we have lived, look around at everything that's going on and think to yourself, somebody is coming behind you to make sure everything is okay? They don't give a damn about you or me. Nobody's coming to make this okay. No one. And it's because of our complacency. Because we like the cool part of AI. So we're willing to accept this downside. Let's go back to the methamphetamine. Dangerous because losers can create their own drugs. People were right about that. And it became a bigger problem because of that. So now all of a sudden, a pedophile can create his own drugs. You still think this is okay?
He's a man of many talents, but he does not have the talent for keeping quiet.
The Stansberry Show on Rock 106.9.
Welcome back to the Stansberry Show, Rock 106.9, nearing the end now. Looking ahead at tomorrow for New Tour Tuesday, do have new Slash for you. Apparently that's got Brian Johnson on it. Well, apparently everybody in Guns N' Roses is going to work with AC/DC. As Axl had fronted the band, I think Duff McKagan's played some bass for them on some shows and some like, and now, Slash is getting Brian Johnson out there. We'll see what that's all about tomorrow. Also have new Chris Jansen for you as well. We may have a few other things up our sleeves as well. If you're a local artist and would like to be featured on New Tour Tuesday, the socials is a great way to reach out, The Stansberry Show on those. You can also find me by emailing me, stansberry@wrqk.com. I've been talking a little deep fakes. As some fake news are going around, a school in Beverly Hills, California, 8th graders, and they created deep fake nudes of their classmates. Back in the day, people would have said, there's no way an 8th grader took these photos, right? But like, if you don't think 8th graders are sexting each other, I think you're in denial. I think sometimes adults, and myself included, can forget about how much you were nearing the adult world way before you should have been at ages like that, right? Like you were, were skirting the sides of it, much sooner than we should have been. And, I was kind of talking about, people lose jobs over what they say and tweet and what they do and what they do. It's not just about news. It's like, so if you can create a video, okay, let me give you a good example. In 2009, both the former president, Barack Obama, and Joe Biden had said, we cannot just let 1 million people come over the border. If you move here, you must learn English to assimilate, and you must do it legally. If you come into this country in front of somebody who's here legally, we're sending you back. These are their comments from 2009. That sounds very different than what they are saying today. The problem with that is, did they really say that back in the day? Psst, yes, they did. They really did. But now the conversation can be, that's a deep thing. But it isn't. They said it. That was their view. It's not their view now because they want to win, right? And so, that's not their view now. So when was somebody lying to me? Was it both times? Was that deep fake? Did they say it? You can tell. You know how many times I've seen a real video that's 100% authentic? But when it gets posted online, people will tell me, you can tell this is faked. It's superimposed. Look at this. His face isn't even facing the same. It's like, no, dude, that video is real. People have said it to me over videos I have taken with my phone and posted. That's not real. You can see where it's photoshopped. And I tell people all the time, bro, I don't even, my skills at that are next to none. So if I posted the video that I took, I didn't doctor it, because it's like, I'm not spending all day figuring out how to do that. Here's the video. Here's the video. As a matter of fact, if they make me clip it down to their time limit, I won't even post it. I'm like, screw it. I had a bad idea. I'm not doing it. That's how much effort I put into that stuff. But nobody believes any damn thing they see or hear anymore because of this kind of tech. And we've been saying for a while now, if we can't agree on what's true, how do we fix any problem we have? We can't, is the answer. And this stuff is only going to make it that much harder for us to figure out what's true and what isn't. And I think we're in for wild times. By the way, deepfake technology over your photos. You know that's what people do, right? They just take your pics. Do you... Dare I say most. Because this is all it takes for me to steal your picture from you. You posting it, me going to your profile, pressing down with my thumb, and then selecting save image. That's it. And I now have your photo on my phone. And you don't know I did it. Some sites tell you that you took a screenshot, you did this, you did. Most do not. I now have a picture of your child on my phone to do whatever I want with. Yeah, you guys are right. I bet the end of social media isn't coming. Nah, you guys are probably right. I'm probably crazy. If you missed any of those conversations, pick them up. Am I crazy? Stay safe out there. Be good to one another. And do, in fact, meet me here tomorrow morning at 6 a.m. for Tuesday's program on Rock 106.9. Hopefully you have a decent afternoon. Hopefully nobody has your nude photos all over the internet. And hopefully I run into you somewhere around town.
Hosting family game night, but your fridge is looking a little dicey? See what I did there? Giant Eagle is now available on Instacart, which means you can get Giant Eagle's fresh produce, delicious bakery, and high-quality meat and seafood delivered right to your door in as fast as 1 hour. The unbeatable quality of Giant Eagle meets the unbeatable convenience of Instacart. Let's go, let's go. Oh, yeah! You can't beat that. Visit Instacart.com or download the app to get free delivery on your first 3 orders. Minimum order $10, additional terms apply.
So for me, that means they're not offering me the fight yet. We'll wait and see if it gets there. As a person who likes to gamble on sports, I'll be gambling this weekend on some Premier League stuff, as a matter of fact. Go Man City. But we were, I like to gamble, right? This makes me nervous, gambling on this. When I saw a lot of people betting on the McGregor-Mayweather thing, I was like, dude, they literally wore ski masks to the ring. I mean, dude, they're telling you it's a heist, right? Like, it's like, come on. And I sort of feel that way about this. Boxing's always been the sport that's, I would imagine, easiest to fix. You got to get to one guy. You don't have to get to the ref. You don't have to, if you want somebody to take a dive, here's all the money. Marcellus Wallace, does he look like a bitch? Like he's going to pay you you're going to take the dive and that's how it's going to go, right? And so I've always been a little nervous with the boxing betting. And I don't think I could ever bet against Mike Tyson, 57 years old or not. I don't think, how are you going to bet against him? Have you seen, he released some training videos yesterday. Now again, training videos are a lot like training camp videos. Oh my God, dude, look at that spiral. Oh, you mean without pads on, with nobody rushing him and none of this? Yeah, they could all throw pretty well in shorts and a t-shirt. Yeah, they're all pretty good at that, right? And it's, oh my God, dude, Deshaun, he's slinging it, man. Gonna be great. It's like those videos give you a little bit of hope. And I think Tyson was out there yesterday putting those videos out, trying to remind everybody, I'm like Tyson now. Like, you know that, right? Will he bite him? No. Right? No. Of course, we were all there for that. There is a guy who complains about social media a lot, and I do. By the way, you can follow me on them all, The Stansberry Show. Sometimes I'll get a little too carried away complaining about him. I've said this before. Imagine the memes during AIDS. Imagine how bad that conversation would have got back then. Well, we don't have to imagine. We went through a huge medical thing, and look how messy it got because of social media, right? So I guess maybe we do know what would have happened. But like when I think about huge moments like that, like Tyson biting the ear of Evander Holyfield, like the memes and the social media reaction and what would have happened. I don't think you'll see anything like that. This is enough of a spectacle to begin with. What most people thought why Mike bit Evander, Evander was kind of exposing, like, dude, there are other guys out, right? Mike Tyson will forever, for me, be... I got the 2 Mike Tyson stories I have is I ran into him once at Beechwood Mall, long before the radio job came about. I was walking through Beechwood Mall, I think it was Dillard's, and his security guys bumped into me as they were trying to get him through the stores pretty quick. I turned around and he was in a full-length, like, sequenced robe, like, honestly, like Ric Flair. Like, it was like kind of crazy, and he kind of pulled the hood back as he was walking by us, and he kind of gave us, Mike Tyson, man! I mean, we went ape crazy. And so then we followed him around the stores, and like, you know what I mean? They weren't letting people into the stores he was walking into. That's how fame kind of works back then. Is like, you know, you didn't run up to, you know, TikTok right next to him. You weren't allowed anywhere near him. And so like, but it was one of those things where I was like, I cannot believe I'm seeing this person walk around, right? And then the other Mike Tyson story I remember, and I don't even remember the fight. I can't even remember. Was it Leon Spinks maybe? My brother and I wanted to see the Tyson fight so bad. Because it was one of those. And so we begged and begged and begged and begged and begged. Come on, Dad, do it! Right? And I think the fight was all of, well, then this would have been a lot of money. $60. I think is what that fight was. $60. I think beside himself. They taking that opportunity to be some female artists there. People had forgotten about that version of that song from Evanescence. And it got talked about, a little popular, but then when they cleaned it up and took a lot of that like turntable stuff out, that's when it was starting to take those bets and having to deal with the returns and, you know, refunds and all of that stuff. We'll see. We'll see. You know, I said it makes me nervous to bet it because it just feels like a spectacle. This doesn't feel like a real thing. It just feels like an exhibition, right? I think it's a testament to Mike. I don't think most 57-year-olds would be given any credit here whatsoever that they could maybe pull it off. I don't know, although I don't know what makes people say that. But do you know how many 57-year-old guys I know that if you run into them in the bar tonight could take like 3 25-year-olds out to the parking lot and whoop y'all? And I mean, it's a lot of them now. So I don't know why we think that just now you're like, dude, that's what 45-year-old people look like back then? Wait a minute, they weren't wearing, you know, backwards hats and, you know, having their pants around their ass and like, oh, the 45-year-olds weren't, they were adults? Like, what? They were? Right? And so, like, that was kind of, it's one of those things where older people are younger. Look at athletes today. Not that Mike would be an athlete of today, but, like, look at them. LeBron's longevity and all of that, like, that's, I mean, Brady, Aaron Rodgers, for crying out loud. I think it was 8 months after that injury, and Aaron's just out there throwing the ball around, just, you know, screwing around. It's like, dude, come on, man. Like, things are getting crazy out here. So, as I'm watching these athletes take care of their bodies maybe better than ever, yes, Mike's been retired a long time, but, like, it's not like Mike let himself go. Not at all.
That means it.
If I just said to you, Mike Tyson is going to fight a 27-year-old YouTuber, no name, 27-year-old YouTuber, because that's what Jake Paul is. Let's be honest, he's a YouTuber.
We traveled more than 1 hour.
Maybe one of the biggest there is. Fair. But he's a YouTuber. If I told you that,
it takes 30 minutes to get out here.
Oh my God, Mike on a cruise. You've seen Jake Paul fight a couple of times. It's gone a little bit better than we had expected it to, and people, I think, they're not giving the kid enough credit with it. I would admit that, and I hate him. Can't stand him. Logan Paul I can kind of tolerate for a little while longer. I don't like either one of them. They both annoy the living hell out of me. I know so many people are going to be like, sounds like jealousy to me, bro. Not really. Notice I don't really go out of my way to be any more popular than I am. Do you ever notice that? Like, I do absolutely very little to make, because you've seen him fight, and it did go better than you thought. But man, it seems as if the people who listen to me want him to get absolutely murdered. I don't have one person in my mentions anywhere. 330-450-7625 to text it. Socials is The Stansbury Show. I don't have a single person in my messages anywhere telling me they hope Jake Paul wins. Not one. Not a single one. Everybody's like, dude, I hope Mike absolutely cruises. I don't think that's just about Jake Paul, if I'm honest. I think the saturation point of influencers, we're starting to get there. A little bit. Not everybody, obviously, as they, you know, those, you know, plenty of clicks and views are still being racked up by all those idiots. Aiden and all, Kai Sennett and Jake Paul and all those morons. They're pulling plenty of views, right? So it's not like, oh my God, dude, close it up, it's over right now. No. But when you see this many people hope Jake Paul gets his head knocked off by Mike Tyson, I'm telling you, I think a little bit of that is how obnoxious the influencer culture has become. Maybe I'm wrong. Now, speaking of that, my buddy Jason texted me and said, yo, man, I saw a clip a few months ago. And Tyson